What's going on, guys? It's DigiWatch TCG coming to you with another deck profile. Now, I'm pretty excited because I finally have all the cards for BT10 EX3, and I'm going to be showcasing the Trial of the Four Great Dragons deck today. Now, I have tested this deck a few times, and I can say one thing about EX3, if nothing else, it is a fun set to play with. And by all means, these are not competitive decks. These are literally made really feeling like they're fun decks, other maybe than Examon and maybe the Dragon Link's deck, which I think are probably the most competitive out of the set. Trial is more of a fun deck. Now, the good thing is that 90% of the deck is actually pretty much 100% of the deck is honestly pretty cheap to get. They're all rare, so you can get 1 to 2 boxes and practically have your entire deck, other than some cards you may need from some other sets. But yeah, we're going to get into the video now. Please like, sub, and all that stuff, and let's get into the deck. So starting things off, we're playing 3 Upamon and 2 BBmon. Now these could really honestly be any yellow egg. It doesn't really matter. I know a lot of people have been playing Viximon, but there is something to keep in mind. As far as I understand it, Trial of the Four Great Dragons is something that you place into your battlefield, battle zone, not something you use. Card description in this set is very important. So, like, you use an option, you play a Digimon, you Digivolve a Digimon, but you use cards. So the way that these cards say is that when you use an option, you gain a memory or you draw one, things like that. Just something to keep in mind. That you're placing the Trial of the Four Great Dragons for a majority of effects in this deck. So you have to think about that. So you can really play anything. So I'm playing Upamon over here because it's if you have less than 3 cards in your security, you draw 1. I think it's a fun little package to play. And yeah, that's my eggs. Again, eggs don't really matter too much, but you can modify them as much as you can. Now, in terms of the rookies, I felt like you're kind of given 8 rookies to start off with in this deck, and I feel like what I am doing with this right now is pretty good, and it's a little different from what the deck, I guess you can see most decks playing this as. So I am playing 4 copies of Agumon, which is from the start, from the new deck, and I apologize if the light is a little weird. This is midday, but my lighting is a little off. So Agumon over here, I'm going to try to give you a good picture of it. So Agumon here is, if you place a Trial of the Four Great Dragons, which is an option card we'll talk about later, or you play a Four Great Dragons, a Digimon with Four Great Dragons in its trades, you draw 1. You're doing it for the draw. You want this in raising, of course. Everything here can be worked with raising, which I'm completely fine with. We have 4 Salamons. This is when you are attacking with this card, if you have more than 3 security, you draw 1. And then we have 2 Salamon X antibody to go on top of that to be able to take a look at the top card of your security and figure out if you want to add that to hand or if you don't. I think that this is a completely fine package. Normally what people will play is the Patamon. There's a Patamon in this set that basically is an on-play, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, and then add an Angel. And then there's a bunch of like other description words with Angel, which you can look on world.digimoncard.com to get if you look at the errata section. Or you can play, so you get one of those and then you get something with Trial of the Four Great Dragons in its traits and add it to hand, which most stuff you can do. So with that, you can play that, but I'm just trying out a different engine right now. I didn't like how Patamon would whiff a lot of the time, and there's only about 6 cards in your deck that it can get that are Angel. So unless they come out with future support or you modify your deck build, usually you're going to be playing only getting 6 of them. So most of the time you're going to whiff. So that's my rookie lineup here. I'm happy with it. It's been performing a little bit more consistently. Still not the best rookie engine, but I do like it. Going into our level 4s, these are the ones that do come in the set. We are playing 4 copies of Gatomon. This is a really good card for the deck. It's a 4 cost to play, so I'd rather play this over the Patamon. It does the same exact thing though. You look at the top 4 and you can add a Digimon with Angel in its traits, and then all the other descriptions that you can take a look on later to your hand, and 1 card with Trial of the 4 Great Dragons from your deck to your hand. And then it has the inherited, which is very important, of giving your Digimon rush. If you're playing a Digimon with 4 Great Dragons in its traits, it gains rush for this turn. Keep in mind it is a once per turn effect, so if you have multiple Trial of the 4 Greats, you can only give it rush 1 time per copy of card. So if you have 2 Gatos here, and you have 2 Trials of the Greats, you can trigger that as the inherited for both. Each one of each. So that is our level 4. And then we have our Digivolving effect level 4, which is our Vidramon. And this is pretty cool. By the way, just so you know, if you do buy boxes of this, which you don't really have to, you can get a foil version of it if you are looking to max rarity your deck. But basically, this is the same effect here as an inherited of giving your Digimon rush, but the Digivolving effect is reveal the top 4 and add a Digimon with Dramon in its name to your hand, and 1 card with Trial of the 4 Great Dragons in its traits to your hand. The rest go to bottom. Basically, the whole point of this is to give your Digimon rush. So when you use the Trial effect, which I'll talk about later, you are able to attack the same turn they come out. So that is our level 4s. Pretty standard for most builds. Level 5s here are going to be 4 copies of the Arrow Vidramon. Arrow Vidramon here is pretty good. Basically, the Angel Woman, which is the next card I'll talk about, in itself have the same exact effect for the first part of when you Digivolve. If you don't have a Trial of the 4 Great Dragons in play, you can place 1 there from your hand. Important I said place because that's how the wording is. You place it, you don't use it. So that's why Viximon may not be a great choice for this deck. But Arrow Vidramon will allow you to do that. Then while you have a Digimon with 4 Great Dragons in its traits, or you have Trial of the 4 Great Dragons in your battle zone, this Digimon gives blocker. That effect also applies to its inherited, so if you Digivolve on top of it, the top card will be a blocker as well, as long as you have a Trial of the 4 Great Dragons, or if you have another card with the 4 Great Dragons in its traits. So that is our level 5. And then for our other level 5s, we have 4 copies of Angel Woman. Angel Woman over here basically is the same exact effect for Arrow Vidramon, to place 1 in the zone if you don't have one already, but it also has an effect of when you place a Trial of 4 Greats, or you play a Digimon with 4 Great Dragons in its traits, you can give one of your opponent's Digimon minus 3000 DP, which is very important. It also has the same kind of effect there where it's inherited. If you place a Trial of 4 Greats underneath it, or you are playing a 4 Great Dragons, you give one of your opponent's Digimon minus 3000 DP. So what you can actually do, believe it or not, is if you have this out and you're in a situation where you do have like 2 trials on field, or you're going to hard play something, you can actually place the trials there, minus 3000 one of your opponent's Digimon, and then you can play a Great Dragon with another card or itself, or play another trial going into our next card I'm going to talk about in a second, and give another 3000 burn to one of your opponents. And that extra card is the Angel Woman X Antibody. So this can go on top of Angel Woman. It also can Digivolve normally. Gives one of your opponent's Digimon -1 security check. And then if it's over an Angel Woman, if you have 5 or less in your security, you recover 1. I think it's good because it gives you the recovery. And again, when you have it on top here, it gives you the inherited as well. And also, since it's 0 cost, you get to draw 1 more. And I think drawing is a very tough thing to do in this deck. So the reason I was kind of going with this X Antibody type of build was to give you extra draws rather than searches, because I don't think the searches are as relevant as you may think it is. So I think the draw engine is a little bit better with that. You could even go as far as to cut the Arrow Vidramon if you really wanted to. I don't suggest it, but you could make a build that's just the Angel Woman and the Angel Woman X Antibody. So that is our level 5s here. Our level 6s we're going to talk about, because we have quite a few of them. And I'm going to start off with some choices here. So I have the alt art, so I'm going to kind of showcase the alt arts here. So I don't have any yet of this one, but this is the Digimon here. This is the purple one. You know what? Let's actually switch this up. I'm going to show you in terms of how you hopefully would want to open up in this deck. So first off is, oops, sorry, camera went off for just a moment here. Let me just make sure. Yep, there we go. Is Zulongmon. So we're playing 2 copies of the new Zulongmon. This one over here. Let me show you over here. Now, of course, everything is situational based, but I pulled so many of these alt arts that I wanted to showcase them. So this is an on play. When you play this by Trial of the Four Greats, which by the way, all these can be played normally, just like a hard play. But if you play it by Four Greats, then you're able to draw 2 and then gain 2 memory from a hard play of this card from Trial of the Four Greats. And then they all have this effect, by the way, that on deletion you can play a Trial of the Four Greats Dragon option card from your hand. So we are playing 4 of this. This is usually the first one you want to see in terms of play here. The second one you want to see in most cases, in my opinion, is going to be the Magnadramon. So this is the next one over here we'll talk about, and this is Magnadramon. Here is again 4 great dragons. Let me show that artwork. I think that's really nice with the angel woman in the background. Really cool. But we do play 2 of these, and what this does is it blankets the field with -1 security and possibly -2 security if it's played by Trial of the Four Greats. And then on deletion has the same type of effect. So this kind of effect is kind of like the Holy Flame effect that gets hidden security, and then it flips up and everything gets -1 security. This is the same thing. During your next turn, your opponent will, if they play or promote a card that gets -2 security, -1 security if it's just hard played. So we do play 2 of those, and usually that's a good way of kind of stalling your opponent. We do play 1 copy of Magnadramon from, I think this is 1.5, I'm not don't remember which one, but basically if you have 3 or less security, you can recover 2, and also if you declare an attack with it, you can play a level 3 from your hand, which is fine. You get an extra level 3 on the field if you maybe picked up too many, so that's good. And then also, the only problem with this is that it doesn't have a play to Trial for Greats if it does get deleted. So you only play 1, and you could always hard slam this down and just get the extra 2 memory. 2 recovery in there. Now late game, this is great for late game. Is the Megadramon over here. This is not an alternate art, unfortunately. I have not yet gotten that one. But basically, it's treated as Chaos Gallantmon. And then if you play it, you can delete a level 5. If you play it by Trial of the Four Greats, you can delete a level 6. And then again, all 3 of these, other than this Magna, have the on deletion play a trial effect. Now I'm going to show the last couple over here, and then I'll talk about these ones here. These are my other level 6s that I play. But usually this is the round that you want. You want all these in your trash at some point. You have the Goldramon over here. This is the regular art versus the alt art over here, and then regular art over here. I really like these arts. This is personally like an amazing set to get alt arts in. But you play 3 of those, and what they do is on Digivolve you can return 1 Digimon card with 4 great dragons and its traits from your trash to your hand, and then when attacking, you can -6,000 on one of your opponent's Digimon. Additionally, this is the last card you want out in most cases, other than like you can technically Digivolve it earlier on, but you have this out and then you attack with it, and if you have a Megadramon, a Magnadramon, and a Zulongmon in your trash, you put all 3 of them to the bottom of your deck and you trash 2 cards from their security before the attack goes through. So essentially you want all these in the trash prior to that, and I'll show you a cheat to kind of do that a little easier without which is kind of cool, and you can modify the build as you want to make it more consistent. I'm going to leave these out for now because I really like how I set them up. So lastly, with our level 6s, we have our other one, Venusmon over here. Venusmon is pretty cool. It gives everything -1 security, then it can't be attacked if you're Digimon, and it can't be attacked on your opponent's turn. If your opponent's Digimon has a security attack kind of effect, in play, and then when attacking and when digivolving effects don't activate. So if your opponent tries to push up a card and then just like digivolve and gain the effect of a digivolving effect or an attacking effect, well, Venusmon can actually stop that. It protects itself. Unfortunately, it doesn't really work with anything else in the deck. You kind of have to start over again in raising or as another stack if you want to go the Goldramon route, but this can stall and stop your opponent from having a lot of different plays. So this is a good one of in this deck, I think. And then we have this cheat I call Dobrikmon. So Dobrikmon is really kind of interesting. It does have an alternate art form as well, by the way. But basically what this does is you can digicross using Digimon, and unfortunately it doesn't say it here yet, but I'll talk about it later down the line. If you go to World, all these cards, for some reason, there was a bunch of problems with the errata coming from Japan to now to here, and so most of these cards are mistranslated or they are missing text on them, so you have to go online and look at the errata there. But Dobrikmon has an effect of digicrossing. You can take up to 5 Digimon and put underneath him to make him essentially -2 play cost for each one you put underneath. And what's great about these is that they all have dragon in their traits, which means that you can use all of them to reduce the cost here. And now you can kind of see how this can cheat out getting to your combo quicker. So if you have these 3 here underneath in your hand and you place all 3 of them like this and maybe reduce the cost and play this out, you can put them all underneath. Additionally, the Digimon and the Arrow Digimon both are considered dragons as well, so you can put those 2 underneath and make it a 3 cost to play. And then its other effect is for every Digimon with like dragon or I think it's Ceratopsian and Soar in its name, then you can add 2,000 to its own deletion effect, which is delete a Digimon with 3,000 DP, but then for every card underneath it, so this would be making it 5, this would be making it 7, this would be making it 9, so you'd make it delete a Digimon with 9,000 DP or less. Additionally, it has Rush, so if it comes out, it's kind of like your hybrid for game, it's kind of like your Dobrik for game, so you're just going to put everything underneath it, play this out, swing into security, and then if they are able to get rid of this or something like that, and all these pieces basically go to the trash, you can go to your Goldramon, and then you can actually use that. So that's like kind of the combo you can use with Dobrikmon. I can see this being bumped up if I wanted to replace it with something else. Of course, you have like options here with the rookies and the X antibody support that I put in this deck. So that is our level 6s. We don't play any level 7s in this deck. Instead, we play 1 copy of TK. TK will again, memory is not really as important in this deck. Then you'd be surprised if it was. But TK can get you a piece that you're missing from security. Check your security, of course. Memory tamer. It's nice. I just don't think it's necessary to go past 2 of them max. And again, it's like I'm pretty tight on space, unfortunately. Then we have 4 copies of the Trial of the 4 Great Dragons here. This is the centerpiece of basically of this deck. So basically what this card does, let me just bring it up to the camera right here. You can see the artwork is really cool. It has it's black and white picture of all the dragons in the frame. And basically what happens is you play this card. If you play it, like pay the full 8, you draw 1. So most of the time you want to use one of those level 5 effects to be able to place this on the field. Now again, it places it on the field, it does not use it, so you're not getting in the draw 1, it just places it, and you do have to wait a turn because its delay effect is this. When you can send this from the battle area to your trash to play a Digimon with 4 Great Dragons from your hand to the field. If you do this Digimon, the Digimon that comes out basically is deleted at the end of your opponent's turn, and you cannot digivolve on top of it with another Digimon. So basically it says you cannot DNA, you cannot digivolve using it to be able to use it. So that's something just to keep in mind with this card. It's basically meant to get one of your guys out, and the combo is essentially is you have like something like, let's say Digimon, just for example, and Angel Woman X. At this point, this is giving all your Digimon Rush. You use one of these to play out one of these for free. You're able to swing the same turn and chip away at their life, and that it's just very powerful. I really like this deck as a fun deck. Again, it's not a meta competitive deck. We play some memory boosts just for consistency, yellow memory boost and reinforcing memory boost. This will give you the recovery, and then the yellow gets you a search. And additionally, we play 3 copies of God's Flame. God Flame. This card is what I think makes the deck really reliable in more of a play, have fun kind of way. God Flame is a 5 cost to play, and it gives one of your opponent's Digimon minus 6,000 DP, and then you can return one card with Trial of the four Great Dragons and its traits back to your hand. And that includes all the dragons here as well as the option here. And again, it's a good card to be hitting security. It's a good card to get rid of problems. You can do something where you can minus 6,000 with a Goldramon attack, Goldramon attack for 6,000 DP, and then use the God Flame. God Flame would be able to do another 6,000 and get rid of problems on the field. So that's the deck I kind of put together. I know it's not the typical deck, but I do think it is a little bit more consistent than what it was before, which was basically just using everything from EX3. But I want to know your thoughts. Please let me know if you're excited, if you're going to try this deck out yourself, if you're going to try out the X Antibody package, or are you going to just go straight into your cards. So let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.